Hey everybody, McKyler here real quick to remind you to go check out our Patreon. We've got 7 bonus episodes up there right now and an 8th one coming up soon. If that's something that sounds fun to you, go sign up at patreon.com/doing learning. Hope to see you over there. Welcome to Doing Learning, everybody. Welcome, Daniel. How are you doing tonight?
Splendid.
I
I'm,
like that.
I got my yellow edition.
Oh,
What is this thing called?
Red Bull? It's a yellow bowl?
It's a yellow bowl.
What is yellow flavor? We're carrying over from caffeine week, apparently. No,
Tropical. Yeah.
Okay. Pineapple, maybe?
No, tropical.
Right. Sure. Yeah. We can't identify too closely to a fruit because otherwise it would be, what is that? False advertising.
Yeah. It's artificial too. Artificial flavor, guys. Just so you guys know, it's not natural.
I don't know that you should drink those, but you do, you, Daniel. Anyway, that's not tonight's episode. We already did that one. I'm really excited about this one, Daniel. I kind of don't know how we haven't talked about this yet. Has not come up at all. My inspiration for this topic is so bizarre. I'm just going to walk you through it.
Okay. I know I'm cutting you off already.
No, that's fine.
But I looked down and I was listening to you.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to picture the topic in my brain.
Yeah.
And you said my inspiration. What I thought you said Mayan inspiration. I'm like, oh, we're talking about the Mayans. How have we not talked about this? You're right.
We have talked about the Mayans?
I don't know.
I lost track.
Maybe during the 7 Wonders episode.
No, Machu Picchu is the Incans.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe we talked about that.
Maybe somewhere.
Whatever. I don't go back and listen to the episodes. Maybe I should.
Anyways,
in any case, we're going to start repeating ourselves very soon. My inspiration was one of my favorite musical artists. You know him, Aesop Rock. You know of him. I've played some songs.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
You had that look in your. I knew something was coming when you gave me that look. Yeah, no. Aesop Rock he's a weird dude. He's a rapper who raps about all kinds of weird stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's very much like a rapper about his own experiences and stuff like that. He's very atypical for a rapper, but what he's most kind of famous for is his vocabulary.
Okay.
And his storytelling. So he's got he'll do some more serious songs, and then he does some really goofy songs, but he takes them really seriously. In any case, he's got the widest vocabulary out of basically any artist that's been measured in the modern era for sure. It's crazy. It's not even close. It's orders of magnitude more unique words compared to the next guy, and then that's an order of magnitude compared to the next people.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a storyteller. He does some weird stuff. He just has a new album that came out a couple months ago. One of the songs is about how him and his lady got an aquarium, and they went got some fish to put in the tank and whatever, and it was all cool. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, there's a snail in the tank. And then they're like, okay, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, the next day there's 10 snails. And so then he's doing research on where do these snails come from. And then he's like, these snails are awesome because they're just doing their thing and they making it happen. And there's, they earned it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's what am I going to do? Get rid of them? All this stuff. He's like, what do I do with a bag full of snails? This whole kind of comedic story. Anyway, that's the type of story. That's not the song I'm going to talk about. I'm not even going to talk about the song. The song that got me inspired for this topic is called John Something, which is a story of him in 1996, had a guest lecture where he was able to skip class to go listen to this artist talk about his art.
Okay.
And as this artist starts talking about, he's going to start going through his presentation, he stops and can't really get through his speech. He's stuck on something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he starts talking instead about his art, he talks about a documentary that he saw the night before.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about the documentary in addition to like the actual event, right? I'm going to talk about the event in this documentary that was referenced by a guy in a song who is supposed to talk about his own art that Aesop doesn't remember the guy's name of, but he constantly, like, this is a tradition in his life. He watches this documentary every winter because of this guy. So he's like, this is the greatest artist lecture that I've ever heard. And he's like, his name may or may not be John, is like how he ends the song or whatever. So anyway, we are going to talk about Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and the Rumble in the Jungle.
Okay.
Which hopefully you've heard about some of that. Or
Yeah.
You've heard about Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, she's a great ballerina.
Get out of here with this nonsense tonight, Daniel. He was he was known for dancing in the ring.
Yeah.
So you're not too far off, but you're wrong. But anyway, the documentary is called When We Were Kings.
Okay.
And it is completely surrounded. The whole topic is the lead up to this fight, which is now it's commonly referred to as the Rumble in the Jungle. All the politics involved, what was going on, why it's considered one of the greatest sporting events that's ever happened. Certainly in the sport of boxing, if not any sport ever. Just a huge, tremendous event. And yeah, I just wanted to walk through the story because it's pretty incredible in a lot of weird ways that you wouldn't expect. So we're storytelling again tonight.
Perfect. I love story time.
So I'm gonna walk you through the story. We're just gonna talk about it.
So it's a ballerina versus a grill.
That is correct. And that's another reason why I wanted to talk about it, because like, well, I had a George Foreman grill growing up, or my family did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a George Foreman grill?
Don't think so.
They're kind of awesome. Like at the time, like we use that thing all the time.
That's the ones that like they're like this small and they
and then
you can make paninis in.
Yeah. And then like the real, like the catch part of it, that what makes it kind of cool or unique, whatever. Yes, it's like a countertop grill, but it's also angled so that way the grease strips off into like the grease strip pan, so then it's healthier or something. Like that's what it's just a weird thing. We used it all the time. Loved it.
Burned my foot on it once.
Yeah, when you put bacon on there to wake up to the smell of bacon.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. It's a good time. I mean, who doesn't like to wake up
to the smell of bacon?
Yeah.
No, you're right. But I don't know where it cuts off, but there's some cutoff certainly before when we were born, because we're past the cutoff. When we think of George Foreman, you think of the grill.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, people think of the boxer,
right?
He was one of the greatest boxers that has ever been in the sport. He was the heavyweight champion of the world for like, I don't have the exact numbers here, but like 4, 5, 6 years. We'll talk about his record and just how incredible of a boxer he was and how scary he was. Muhammad Ali might be more of a kind of a household name, but for me personally, like Muhammad Ali, he's known as the GOAT, right? He's the original greatest of all time. That's where like that came from,
right?
Is Muhammad Ali. But I don't really, I mean, I knew he's a boxer, but I don't know like much of anything else about him. Like, what do you know about Muhammad Ali? Much of anything?
Like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Exactly. Right. Like, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's got to be more than this. Like, this was a huge monumental event. Like, I'm going to dive into this. So there's some cool things I'm going to share with you, and we'll link them. We'll link the documentary. I got it on Amazon Prime. I rented it. There are versions of it on YouTube, but because of like copyright stuff, they end up like chopping some of the information out, and it's really weird.
Oh, yeah.
So you can watch most of it on YouTube, but you can't watch the whole thing.
Gotcha.
But I did find the entire fight, which is really cool.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I watched the documentary and I'm like, I wonder, because they showed like clips of the fight and they did this, but I ended up finding the whole fight and I watched the whole fight just to get like, I got all the context and then I watched the thing. So that was really fun to do.
It was still so it was a title fight?
Yes.
12 rounds then?
It's 15. Scheduled for 15.
Scheduled for 15.
15 3-minute rounds.
I was going to say 3.
Is boxing.
Okay.
Yep. It's the heavyweights. So let's kind of start at the beginning.
Okay.
So, and we'll jump around a little bit because this is all over the place. Another fun bit, just because I'm reading it right here. By the time this episode comes out, we'll be pretty close. We'll be a little early. The fight happened on October 30th, 1974. So we're coming up on the anniversary.
Oh, okay. 1934, you said?
1974.
Oh, 19.
So
I was way off.
51st year.
Okay,
51st anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle.
Oh, so last year, 50th anniversary. That was probably a big one, huh?
It. Yep.
Yeah.
So we kind of already know Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
Rumble in the Jungle. Okay, where's that? The fight is scheduled to take place in Kinshasa. Did I say that right? Kinshasa, Zaire. Which,
where's that?
If you've never heard of that, it is now known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Oh, literal jungle.
Yeah, it's in the Congo.
Oh.
So, and it's in the capital city, so it's not like...
But still, like...
That's why they... But yeah.
Okay.
The Congo, like the one with the gorillas, it's that country. Yes. But yeah, they're going to Africa. And so, let's how do we even get here, right? Who's Muhammad Ali? Who's George Foreman? What is going on in the rest of, like, what's going on in America at this time? Because this was a pretty tumultuous time. I mean, you could look at probably any point in American history and say it's tumultuous. So whatever, take that for what it's worth. But for different people at different times. So I will say up front, this time frame, like 60s into 70s, was really like the Black Power movement, right? There was civil rights coming on through the 60s, and that kind of forked and did a couple of different things. And one of them was like the Black Power movement, of which some of it was kind of radicalized and some of it was not crazy and doesn't have the negative connotations. But this was like like Black folks in the United States were really kind of driving down and finding like their identity and trying to stand out and doing things like this. So some of the things that Muhammad Ali was doing was pretty crazy for being like early civil rights and like throughout these eras. So let's talk about Muhammad Ali for a minute. He was born Cassius Clay, which maybe you knew that.
Yep.
He was born in 1942, Louisville, Kentucky. He started his boxing journey around like 10 or 12 years old. And the story that his mom is in the documentary, and they're asking like, how did he get his start with boxing? And he was riding his bike around or something and did whatever, and went into something was going on. He left his bike outside and he went in with his friends to do a thing with wherever they were at, and came back out and his bike had been stolen. Well, he happened to be like at this place with this this adult guy who he taught boxing classes to like kids and stuff, right? And so he's like, he asked the guy like, I want you to teach me boxing, because if I ever find who stole my bike, I want to knock him out. So that's how he got into boxing.
You said at 10 or 12 years old? Okay.
So he was kind of a spicy.
Yeah.
Until I watched like videos of him, I never like, you hear stories about people, you don't really know who they are. And then you watch a video of them and you kind of get to know them, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he was an interesting guy. Super charismatic, super cocky, really kind of full of himself.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I've got a whole list of like really, really interesting quotes from the documentary that I'm gonna kind of sprinkle into.
Okay.
If I can find them.
Yeah, no problem. While you're searching, I do have a question because I feel like you would know. So you said he was born 1942. Where just I don't know why my brain works this way, but in context of Reggie Jackson, is that the baseball player's name?
Yeah.
When was he born? Or like, I guess, what era was he playing baseball? Like around the first majors.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it kind of aligns. And then, oh, whoops! I was searching for old threads instead of making a new one. Jackie Robinson, is that who you're thinking?
Jackie Robinson.
Reggie, who's Reggie Jackson?
I have no.
Jeez, that's
yes. I apologize.
That's somebody else. I can't. Whatever. Yeah. When did he make his debut for? Do you remember who he made the debut for?
Is it the Sox?
Dodgers.
That's right.
Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. So this he kind of really set the stage for black athletes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. I just wanted to put into context because I know like he did the big breakthrough, right? And I wanted to see like where Muhammad kind of lands on this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's riding his coattails, but it's like the doors were kind of open.
Yeah.
A little bit already.
Yeah, exactly. And those kinds of changes take time.
Yeah.
So this is by the time Ali is starting to really get into boxing was only a few years after Jackie made his debut.
Right. Yep.
So then, I mean, still another decade, 2 decades after that. Like, again, it's that kind of change is pretty slow.
Yep.
So, the quotes. One of the first, like, they kind of start off the documentary with this too. One of the things that Ali says is, "I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and I can't possibly be beat."
Yeah, that sounds very cocky.
Oh yeah. Let's see, where's the other one? Yeah, people do say I'm cocky. Some say I need a good whooping. Some say I talk too much. But anything I say, I'm willing to back up. That's really his style. Like, he's gonna mouth off. He's gonna be talking trash. But he's gonna come with it and try to back it up. He's gonna do everything he can.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So that's kind of his style. So he's a little bit abrasive, but he's really charismatic and really, really a polarizing guy.
Okay.
And so let's keep going down his timeline a little bit, because we talked about he was born Cassius Clay. At some point he's Muhammad Ali, right? Let's work up to that one. So he started boxing at 12. By the time he was 18, he competed in the 1960 Summer Olympics and won gold. So he was good.
At what age would that put him in?
18.
18? Okay.
Yeah, so he was a hot shot early.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then 4 years later, he's boxing this whole time. He ended up in 1964. He's 22. Yeah. That's when he first won the heavyweight championship. He beat Sonny Liston, who I mean, half of the guys I had never heard of, right? The Sonny Liston fight is, if you've ever seen, I'm sure you've seen it, the iconic picture of Muhammad Ali. If you could conjure one in your head,
like him almost leaning over, arm, like left arm kind of tucked in, right arm kind of like this, kind of like over. I don't know. It's just like I can see him like leaning over something or someone.
So the picture is
Is it okay if I look it up?
Yeah, definitely.
Like if I just put iconic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you type in Muhammad Ali, it's probably the picture that comes up. It's him standing over Sonny Liston that he just knocked out, and he's beating his chest. And he's like standing over.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So that's where that picture came from. Because I was like, oh, did that come from the Rumble in the Jungle, or did that come from something else? But that's when he became heavyweight champion for the first time. He came in as the underdog, and that's when he first gave his quote, the "float like a butterfly, sting like a bee."
Okay.
And the whole quote is, there's actually more than that, which I think is fun.
I mean, I know the version that is said in the schoolyard, but probably not appropriate for the show.
Actually don't, so you'll have to tell me later.
Dude, the person that took this photo is like...
Right? Like, what a moment to capture. Because I watched the video of it. It's seriously, bam! Like, he just real quick hits his chest, like, and they just absolutely timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they got lucky
freaking
like that, but
sick.
Yeah, right. The whole quote is, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see.
Mm-hmm. That's sick.
That's the whole quote. So the whole time he's like talking trash and like making poetry and like doing these rhymes and it's really funny. Like, he's a funny dude. Just so full of himself though.
Do you know modern day boxers very well?
A few. It's so dramatic now that I don't know. I don't know a lot of them, but I know the dramatic ones.
Would you compare him, like, at least this early on, him being, I mean, I don't know if we haven't gotten to it, right?
Sure.
The rest of his career, but certainly this beginning, it seems like very cocky, very charismatic, but like, a little bit likable, but at the same time, it's just like too much a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there a modern day boxer that you would compare his early, or at least what we've talked about to?
Man, he is so unique, and I think that's why he's remembered so fondly.
Right.
Is you kind of see it in these guys because they make a lot of money, and for punching people, right?
Yeah.
So they're really confident, kind of tough people.
Right,
You kind of
right.
have to be almost, right?
Yeah, you can't be timid and the champion
exactly, right? Like, it kind of just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But people like you've heard of Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
That dude is, I would say a lot of it's the same, except for Ali was likable, and I don't know that Floyd is.
No.
I think he is like a kind of a scumbag.
Oh, 100%.
But
like, no, doesn't deserve anything.
So, and I don't really know. I don't really know a whole lot of the other ones. Manny Pacquiao, I think, is about, I don't know if he's even still boxing, but as far as I know, he was a little bit more likable, and less mouthy, I think.
Yeah, but, for sure.
A lot of these guys are pretty mouthy.
And he's getting, Pacquiao's getting old, or he is old.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if he's retired at this point, but
yeah, I'm sure if he's not, he should be. Because he's, especially for a boxer, I think you get aged out pretty quickly.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I have a comment on that later too, because it flipped my head upside down. So let's keep talking about Ali for just a second here.
Yeah.
Ali was so polarizing because he figured out what his ideals were, and he stuck with them. And I really admire him for that. He ended up for a long time. This is what's so weird, is there's so much flip-flopping on their perception of these guys. People hated Ali for a while because he did a couple of things. He joined the group known as the Nation of Islam, which I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Nope.
But they're a really they're like a religious group, but it's like, again, it's the Black Power movement, and they were pretty radical Islamic, African American, like Malcolm X.
Okay.
If you've heard of that.
Yep.
Is part of Nation of Islam.
Oh.
So as part of like when they go through that like the idea is, this is why he changed his name, is because the idea is, and why like Malcolm X is because they're giving away or giving up their slave name. So the idea is that they're only a few generations passed down from their ancestors, which were like their grandparents were slaves, right?
Right.
That's probably, or close. Grandparents, maybe one more generation. Math, something. So anyway, a lot of those last names, the surnames, were passed down. And so like Clay, maybe at some point, I have no idea, this is their thoughts, maybe at some point that name was given to his ancestors as they were slaves in America. That's the idea, right? And so he gave up his given name and took on another name that was more kind of religiously taken on, thus Muhammad Ali, right?
Yeah.
Because it's Islam, and so it's kind of taking on that. The other option that they normally do is they just give up their last name and replace it with an X. That's why Malcolm X. So he could have been Cassius X or something like that.
Oh.
So that's like where that comes from.
Interesting.
So so he got into that and like really found his passion in religion, and he was like outright about it. He was not shy. But it was pretty radical group, and it got a lot of negative attention, probably a lot of it for good reason. They're definitely tied in a lot with some of the more negative aspects of the civil rights movement, right? Where you got like Martin Luther King Jr. on one side, you kind of had like Malcolm X and kind of the more like the spicier take and the harder like revenge take on it a little bit more. They're definitely more like punch you in the mouth than like, let's work, whatever. That's a different topic.
For sure.
Wild, for sure. Super interesting, full. So anyway, people didn't, that's the point. He joined the Nation of Islam. Americans did not like the Nation of Islam. They viewed it as a radical group. And he was so outspoken about it, right? So people are like, cool, don't like that. Right. I don't like that he's doing that. And that, you know, that's who he is, and Islam is scary and like all this stuff, especially in the 60s, right? As a black man in the United States, being that outspoken about it.
Yeah.
Pretty bold take.
For sure.
Well, what else happened in the 60s was the United States went to war with Vietnam.
Yeah.
And what do we know about Vietnam is there was a draft, right?
Yeah.
And so he got drafted. And when they went to, I'm not exactly sure how it went, but they like went to, I think they physically went to a place and they would call your name like out of a thing if you got drafted.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yep.
So like kind of Hunger Games style, like that's kind of whatever, like that. They're in a place and then you might get your name called.
Yeah.
So when they called his name, he refused to step forward. So they arrested him because it's illegal to not go when you're drafted.
Yeah.
That's the idea, right? You're whatever. So then he was citing his religious beliefs. He said that he is like like an Islamic priest and like all of this stuff, and he's a conscious objector. And so he thought like, I'm opposed to this. I should be exempt or whatever like that. And there is a process,
right?
And he filled out, like, he got arrested, filled out the paperwork and stuff to try to be labeled as a conscientious objector, so he didn't have to go to war, and he was denied that. So I'm not exactly sure what that process looks like, or how many people applied and how many people got it, but he was denied. So as part of that, he never went to jail. Mostly, I think, because almost the entire time that we were in war in Vietnam, the court cases were proceeding and just taking years and years and years, which is just a wild thing in and of itself. But in any case, here's what happened. He was fined like $10,000, which is a weird number. He's fined $10,000. And the biggest thing is that his titles were stripped of him.
Oh, man.
And he was revoked his, apparently you had to be licensed to participate in boxing.
Yeah.
Like to be like, you're in the association, you're a professional boxer. That was pulled away from him. So then he lost his title, and he couldn't box for 4 years. So people hated him for being unpatriotic and part of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
And he's like, don't care what you think. This is me. This is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
In 1967.
And at this point, did we move on? Did he a little, because last number I heard was 22.
Yeah.
Now he's
math.
So you said
he's 25.
25. Okay.
When the draft happens.
Wow. Like literally like ripe age for it too.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. That's exactly why he was drafted. So he never served. Right.
Okay.
We kind of figured that. Right?
But he never went to jail or prison or anything for it either.
Nope.
Just got stripped of titles.
Yes. So
wow.
Just that whole situation is strange.
Yeah, for sure.
And I meant to do the research on like the numbers of how weird was it that he got his revoked? Like, why did his paperwork not go through?
As opposed to others?
Yeah. Like, is it kind of normal? Like, how many conscientious objectors were there? What reasons were that? I didn't look into any of that process, but in any case, America hated him.
I bet.
They hated him so much. So then all of that goes away, and eventually he gets back into, he can keep boxing again.
After the 4 years, you said, right? Okay. So that would put him, late 20s, huh?
Yes. So this is where I'm saying, by the time we get to the Rumble in the Jungle, and we'll get there, by the time we get there, he is the old man in that scenario. And it feels weird. George Foreman is the youth. So it's youth versus experience.
Oh.
And at that point, George Foreman was the young gun and Ali was the old experienced guy.
Oh my gosh. Time is so, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Cause I have I have heard of this fight. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali. I have heard, but I always thought it was like George Foreman was the senior, was the king, and Muhammad was like, I'm going to take you down. That is crazy.
I think by the time we get to the Rumble in the Jungle, it's 1974, which I believe they said Muhammad Ali is 32. Yeah, he's 32. And
no, so just right at our age right now.
Yeah, right? Imagine fighting for the... and we would be old men in boxing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes I feel old when I wake up in the morning, so I got ways to go, though, hopefully. George Foreman is 7 years his youther. I don't know what the word is. I did it the wrong direction.
Yes.
Junior.
There you go.
Junior, there's a word. Yeah.
7 years is junior.
English is my first language, Daniel. So he's 25.
Okay.
All right. So let's set up the fight.
He's just lucky that there wasn't a war and he had to get drafted.
George Foreman missed it, he missed it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because he would have been
17. No.
I mean, he would have been right about 18. I mean, he was probably
if he's 7 years younger, Ali was about 25. So
that puts him at 18.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't it put him
2
at
plus 5 is 7 is 18 to 25.
Oh, dang. So he must have been born later in the year.
Maybe January 10th, 1949. I don't know. In any case, didn't come up for him. That's not part of his story. So let's see. Let's talk about George Foreman for a little bit.
Okay.
George Foreman, he's known as Big George. Dude is a monster. Like when you watch the videos and you see the fight, he makes people look tiny. Like he makes like Muhammad Ali look small. And Ali's a jacked dude. So by the time they get to the fight, Ali is roughly 210, 215 pounds. Foreman is 220 and like an inch or two taller than Ali. Ali has reach on him by a couple of inches. But George Foreman is known for just having the hardest punches that boxing has seen. He was kind of a one-trick pony, really, but he just annihilated people because he would just punch you into oblivion. He would just destroy you. He won 40 consecutive fights before the Rumble in the Jungle. 37 of them were knockouts, and let's see, most of them did not go past the second round.
Wow.
Which is crazy for boxing.
Yeah,
because you got 12 or 15 rounds.
Yep.
And he hadn't gone past like the sixth round in like the previous 6 years of fighting before the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He would just annihilate people. They showed a little bit of his training footage. And one of the things that they would say about him is like, the bag, the punching bag.
Yeah.
Two things with it. They would have like the biggest trainer dude that they had holding the bag for him. And when he would punch it, it would lift the guy off the floor as he's just boom, 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 doing like what would be like kind of body shots.
Yeah.
And he would just punch and punch. And by the time he was done with it, there was like a dent. And the way they describe it in the documentary is you could fit like half of a watermelon inside of it. So they said, because these reporters were with these guys the whole time.
Yeah.
And we'll get to Zaire here in a little bit. Sorry, we're jumping around.
No, you're good. You're good.
So the reporters and the journalists are following these guys around kind of all over the place. So they're seeing all this. They're taking notes. They would train in the same place, right? There was only one gym. And
wait, Ali and
Foreman.
Yep. Oh, okay.
So they would train in the same gym, and Ali would always train after Foreman. And whenever he would go in, it would be like kind of at the end of Foreman stuff. And he would never look at Foreman punching the bag. Like if he's doing whatever he might look, he never would look at him while he's punching the bag. Because you didn't want to see that. Because that guy's about to punch you.
Yeah, it would be a little demoralizing for sure, or like frightening.
Yes.
Like, yo, that guy just punched a hole in that bag.
Yeah, exactly. 6'3", 220. I have written down here by the time they get to the fight. People were genuinely afraid that Ali was like going to get hurt because he's the old man in this case. And they thought like he might, like, this is not going to be good. He is going to get injured badly in this fight. So let me back up just a little bit. I'm going to pull a Daniel. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to back you up.
I love a good backup.
I'm going to pull it back. How do we even get to Zaire in the first place? Because what on earth is even Zaire, right? Congo, Zaire, all this stuff. Zaire, like I said, Democratic Republic of Congo. This is wild. So Ali gets back into the scene. Foreman is the king, right? He is the champ, the undisputed champ at this point. And a promoter by the name of Don King is his name. Another super charismatic. He would look you. I mean, he'd make you feel so supported, but the dude was slimy as all get out, right? Like exactly the kind of guy you'd think would be a promoter for a big fight like this. So this is what he did. He got each fighter to sign a contract that says they'll fight each other and they'll both get $5 million. Doesn't matter who wins or loses. The winner gets the title, and you both get $5 million. That's it, right? And they're both like, okay, cool, sounds good. Ali gets a chance at the title. Foreman is on a 40-fight hot streak, and he's like, cool, let's go. So the only problem is that Don King did not have $10 million.
Okay.
So he starts promoting this, like, who wants to host this fight? Who wants this fight? And Like London wanted it, but they couldn't get over like $6 million. Other countries kind of wanted to try it, and they couldn't or were not willing to pay for this fight.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't find anybody who would do it, except for one guy is willing to pay for it. He says, my country will do it. And it is Joseph Mobutu of Zaire.
Okay.
The dictator.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So let's talk about the history of the Congo for just a quick minute. This poor country has gone through a lot. Starting in, I'm going to just pick it up in the late 1800s. And we're not even going to talk about what happens before that.
Okay.
In the late 1800s, it's known as the Congo Free State. That's what it's called. It was privately controlled by King Leopold II of Belgium. He owned the whole country, right? It was his. Owned, whatever. He controlled it, right?
Yeah.
Well, at this time, like into the 1800s, and this would have been years before too. If you've ever heard of like King Leopold's ghost and like things like that, these are stories about like the horrible, awful Belgian slave trade from the Congo.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what that country is going through in the 1800s.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where they're coming from. So from 1885 to 1908 was known as the Congo Free State, but it was owned by King Leopold and the Belgians. It wasn't until 1908. That's when it kind of transitioned from the king to the country of Belgium. And then it became known as the Belgian Congo.
Wait, what happened to the king?
There was just some protests, some human rights. People were having issues with it because they're just running a slave trade out of it, and they're bleeding this country dry of its resources, and that's all they were doing. They wanted like rare metals and jewels and stuff like that, and rubber were the really big things, and they would basically do whatever it took. They would kill whoever they needed to. There's it actually was in the tuberculosis book that I read.
Oh,
is if you want to know about a country, follow its infrastructure, like follow the roads.
Mm-hmm.
And all the roads in the Congo and the other countries where the slave trades were, is all of the roads and the railroad and the infrastructure go from inside the country, and they all funnel right to the coast, because all they're doing is taking whatever is in there and getting it out of the country to sell it. So they're just bleeding this place dry.
Yeah.
So that's where these guys are coming from. So yeah, at some point it moved from like the king to the government.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it's basically the same thing. Nothing changed. And that's all the way until 1960. So that was Belgian colonial rule, and it was really bad human rights conditions basically the whole time. In 1960, they gained independence from Belgium, and they became known as the Republic of the Congo. But the sudden withdrawal of like the Belgian government and that kind of support that does help run a country and keep things kind of stable, even though they're not good, they're stable. It just left a power vacuum.
Yeah.
Which leads to civil war, foreign interference, crazy stuff, assassinations, power struggle, all kinds of nonsense, right? And then in 1965, Army Chief Joseph Mobutu seized power in a coup and becomes dictator and renames the country Zaire. That was it was renamed in 1971. So he was dictator for 6 years, and then he changed the country's name. He was the dictator until 1997.
Oh wow.
Which
25 years?
Yeah, and this is not that long ago either.
No.
Just yeah, I don't know. There's other dictators still out there. So anyway, that's kind of where that crosses over our story, basically. Is that there's a dictator in charge.
Yeah.
And he basically was like, I'm the dictator. I'll just take the money from everybody and I'm going to get the fight to come here.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Because, I mean, where's he going to get the money? He's going to take it from his own country.
Yeah.
Right. So he's going to take his own resources and pay for this fight to happen in his country.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. So let's talk a little bit more about Mobutu then. He is a dictator in the truest sense of the word. They compared him very closely to Stalin.
Okay.
And as the fight is getting closer and they're trying to get this promoted and things like that, they're starting to get it set up. The foreign press is starting to show up, and this is like months ahead of the fight to get it set up. A couple of white tourists, I guess, were driving around in Kinshasa, the capital city where he's at. Some of them were like, they were just like shot in their cars, like they were just mugged and killed. And he's like, okay, this is not good for publicity. This is going to go really south for me if people start finding out about this kind of stuff. So what he did was he rounded up 1,000 of the most prominent crime figures in the city or in the surrounding areas and put them in detention centers. You want to guess where those detention pens were? They were underneath the stadium in which the fight would eventually happen. God. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not guessing that one.
Nope. There's a rumor, they say the legend has it or whatever, that he rounded up 1,000 of those people and then he randomly picked 100 of them and executed them in order to say, all you crime people, you're not doing crime anymore, or otherwise you're going to die. Like, I'm the dictator and I will eliminate you if that's what you want, right? Because this criminal underground or whatever, they might have some protections in place. They might have people that can bail them out. They might do this or whatever.
Right.
And he basically said, nope, no, you don't. I control you. So the reporters were saying,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And so the reporters were saying, like, at this time, while the foreign press was there, they're like, there might not have been a safer city on the planet because everyone was afraid of the dictator. Yeah. Which I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that checks out. Crazy. So yeah, he's going to play host. He's going to play host.
Jeez. He really wanted this fight to happen in the city.
Yeah. And the whole idea is like drawing attention to Africa. Yeah. Bringing money to Africa, getting, some kind of publicity on it.
Makes sense.
Try to get
just crazy, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he was just a vicious guy who was, was he trying? I don't know. Was he trying to bolster his country and get it like, I don't know. It wasn't stable for any amount of time before that. Yeah. So he was just kind of doing whatever he wanted, I guess, whether it was good or bad for the country. I don't know. That's a different topic. Probably bad, but in any case, I mean, dictator, that's not really a good situation.
Right.
But he was trying to put it on the map, get support, get money, this, that, and the other, whatever. So they head to Zaire. It was really, really interesting. So at this point, this is so bizarre. At this point, the Americans hate Ali. They love Foreman because he's the favorite. He's the champ.
Yeah.
Right. That's how they like it. Well, everybody in Zaire, it's the complete opposite because they're a third world country.
Okay.
So they look at Muhammad Ali as a hero and an idol for throwing up the middle finger to the United States government and saying, I don't want to go to a third world country and kill their people. Because they're like, we're a third world country. Like, if you're going to go get them, why wouldn't you come get us?
Yeah,
right. So like in their eye, America proper is the enemy. Like, that's not good. Like, we don't like that. And Ali was, first of all, Muslim and also sticking it to the man. And they thought that was pretty cool. So they love Ali. And so when he gets to the country and this is the 70s, right? So airplane travel is really different, as we've talked about before. He gets off on the tarmac and he steps out onto the stairs to just, the whole tarmac is full of people. There's bands playing, there's cheering. Like, he's walking down. He is a hero, and everybody is just pumped and so excited that he's there. They're trying to like talk to him. Like, the military has to escort him through because just everybody's so excited to see him and all of that. And then George Foreman, to them, represented, to them being everyone from Zaire.
Right.
And maybe whatever, the greater area over there. George Foreman then represents the American ideology, right?
Yeah.
Because he's kind of vanilla. He's a very, very stoic guy. He never really said much of anything.
Okay.
Where Muhammad Ali is jabbering, blah, 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 this stuff. Foreman almost never said anything. And when he did, it was like really pointed. And so they kind of didn't even really know him. But when this is really interesting, when he steps off the plane, first of all, there might have been 20 people on the tarmac to greet him. When he gets off the plane, he is walking down with his German Shepherd, which you've heard of German Shepherds. You've heard of Belgian Malinois.
Yes.
Which was from Belgium. And they used those dogs when the Belgians owned that country or were in control of that country. They would use those dogs to subdue the citizens of the country. Okay. So that's pretty, he probably should have read into something, like done a little bit of research into that or something like that. But he shows up with the dog and they're like, no, don't like that. Because they're like, it's only been 10 years since they were using dogs to attack us. Yeah. So people remember that. And they're like, I don't like that. So they're like, okay, yeah, we really don't like this guy.
Oh man.
So so that's kind of that's like that's the vibe as they show up here. And then they start going through the training and they start getting ready. They're talking to the press all the time, every day. And Ali, being the charismatic guy that he is, he's talking trash. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna whip him. I'm the greatest, whatever. This is like, whatever. Like I'm coming home to my home in Africa, and right, Black Power movement. And they're like, this is, my homeland, and like all of that kind of stuff. And he's really making a connection with the people. They love this guy. They love this guy. This is when he starts doing some other really fun quotes that I want to read you. This one's really fun. He's talking to the press and the crowd, and he says, I done wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, thrown thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. That's what he tells the press. And everyone's like, yeah.
I have no idea what some of that means.
That's just how he talks. Like, he just starts rolling and spitting. He's just constantly like blah, 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 blah. Like constantly. They showed videos of him doing like his cardio training. He's like jumping rope and he's talking trash the whole time. He's like, I'm in command. When he looks at me, he's scared of me. He's a bull. I'm the matador. I'm his idol. I'm like he's like shouting all this stuff, like jumping rope. And he's like, not a breathless. Like he's totally got his breath, just in phenomenal shape. Yeah. This is how we talk the whole time. This is so funny. When I get to Africa, we're going to get it on because we don't get along. I'm going to eat him up. Too much speed, boy. Too fast. Too fast. That's right. I'm going to retire the heavyweight champion of the world. Like, that's just like spewing out of his mouth constantly. So then at some point here, this is when they start. This like unlocked a memory for me that I'm like, I didn't know if it was like a real memory or a fake one. But if I said Ali Boumaier, have you ever heard of that? Ali Boumaier.
Yes. Not when you chanted it, yes.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh my gosh. But I always thought it was Boombaye, like with another B, Boombaye. That was their chant for him, right?
Yeah.
Ali,
okay.
Boombaye,
Okay.
Ali. He would go everywhere he'd like have everybody start chanting it like if they weren't already.
Yeah.
So it was really funny. At one point he's like, yeah, something like, he's gonna come in here. He thinks I'm scared of him. He's scared of me. And first of all, this is my country. You want me to prove it? And he goes, Ali, Boombaye. And then everybody like just starts chanting. And he's like, see, this is my country. so cocky. Do you know what that means? It means Ollie, kill him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But like, I don't know, probably in the sporting.
Yeah.
But like, that's pretty hardcore still.
Yeah.
No? Like, I don't know. I thought I was always like, woohoo.
Yeah.
But no, it means Ollie, kill him. So that's what they're chanting all the time. Ali, Boombaye. Ali, Boombaye. Wild. So they're training. They're doing all this stuff. The fight was originally scheduled for September 24th, but I don't know when it happened, but it was getting pretty close to the date. Foreman was sparring with his sparring partner training, and his sparring partner went up to defend himself and like elbowed Foreman as he was coming in, and he like busted his right eyebrow open.
Yep.
And so it was like all this drama, right? Because then he had to get it stitched up, and he's not going to fight like that. His manager's not going to let him fight like that.
Yeah. Because that's an easy target, man.
Yeah, it's not going to go good, right? And he's they're not dumb. They're not going to do that. And so they ended up rescheduling the fight for like 5 weeks later, October 30th. And this was causing all kinds of drama because then they're like, is the government keeping them here? Do they want to stay here and fight? Are they getting, is the dictator making you stay?
Yeah.
Like all of this stuff. And it kind of was what it was. The only thing that they were really chasing was that they had to beat rainy season. Because once it starts raining, you can't do anything. It destroys, right? It floods daily.
Okay.
So that's really the only thing that they're fighting on. So they rescheduled the fight for 5 weeks later. Ali was like heartbroken at that point because he was ready to go, right? And then to just be like, nope, just kidding. You got to wait another 5 weeks.
Yeah.
At first he wanted to be like, all right, fine, I'll fight Joe Frazier here instead, because he really wanted to fight there. He did because he struck a chord with all these people. They love him.
Right.
And that didn't end up happening. Whatever. Cooler heads prevailed. They rescheduled the fight, and honestly, it turned out to be a really good thing for Ali because then he could continue to do more, promoting himself with the people and getting involved with these people and really settling in. And it just makes things kind of that much harder for Foreman. As an aside to this, one thing that they decided to do with this fight is schedule a music festival around it too.
Okay.
And they had James Brown, BB King, like really huge artists, and come and did a music festival at the same time. So they're like really making this thing a show. Like that's crazy, the amount of attention that they put on this thing and promoting and making it this spectacle. Let's see.
And I was gonna say, probably in all the, oh my gosh, like influx of income coming into to that place. I mean, like,
you got tourists spending money.
Coming in, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna extend it for 5 weeks. It's like,
they're milking it for sure. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So let's get to the fight. The fight took place at roughly 4 a.m. local time.
What?
So that way it could be broadcasted at a decent time back at home at like a reasonable, when you might expect to fight, 8 or 9 or 10 p.m. So they did it at, if I'm doing math right, because it's the west coast of Africa. So whatever. So they did it at 4 a.m. So then it's on TV in the United States at a better time. So these guys are they're in the stadium at 4 a.m. ready to fight.
Jeez.
The stadium, they estimated maybe 60 to 70,000 people in attendance.
Wow,
and,
at 4 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they guess that the total television audience might have reached 1 billion viewers. Huge fight.
Holy crap.
1974.
I was going to say 74. Jeez.
Yeah. So tons. This is one of the most watched broadcasts in history, it says. I don't know what it compares to things nowadays, because nowadays things are totally ridiculous. But in 74, that's crazy. So Ali, he's entering the ring as a 4-1 underdog. Everyone was, like I said, genuinely worried for him. Let's see what else here. So when they go to enter the ring, when I finally watched it, Ali comes in first because he's the challenger, and Foreman doesn't come in for like 8 more minutes. So he's icing Ali, right?
Yeah,
he's waiting
yeah.
and kind of trying to throw him off. And then finally he ends up rolling in, and they get it on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ali was really famous for dancing in the ring, right?
Yep,
kind of being flighty, running away, quick feet movements, being fast, hitting when he can, kind of hit and run movements. And Foreman is like a brick wall, right? Is going to come at you slow, like a tank. So that's what Foreman trained on, right? He's like, I got to cut this guy off, make him not dance so I can get to him or whatever. And they finally get ready. Boom, the bell goes off, and Ollie comes straight at him, and he just goes toe to toe with him. He danced a little bit in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But he was going right after Foreman, and what he was doing was, they called it a right hand lead, because he boxes traditional, he's right-handed, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he would do, they called a right hand lead, which means it's just like a straight punch with your right hand. And why that's like not a good punch is because your punch has to go all the way across your own body, because you're kind of turned. And like a left jab, right, is short, it's fast, it's really close, but your right arm, they say it's easier to see, and so it's not a very good punch, because you can usually see it coming. You have a long way. It's not as strong. That's what Ollie was doing. He came at him with right hand leads, and why he was doing that, I don't think any of his trainers knew any of this stuff. He just was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
So he surprised everybody. He's doing right hand leads because Foreman does not practice defending those, because no sparring partner would, in their right mind, would ever right hand lead the heavyweight champion of the world, because it's offensive, right? It's like saying it's the most basic thing. So nobody ever did it. And so it was surprising Foreman. He didn't know. And Ali's fast.
Yeah.
So he brought it to him, and he had some really good hits on him, and Foreman just looked fine. Like, he was landing some good hits. But when they went to their corner after the first round, like, that was the first time that Ali actually looked like scared. Like, you could kind of see it in his eyes of like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah, like I just gave it to him and he didn't seem
like, I'm in for it now, right?
Right.
And so you can see him like talking to himself and kind of psyching himself up or whatever. Then he starts doing this really weird strategy that totally threw everybody off, where he would let Foreman chase him into the ropes and just pummel him. Just boom, boom, boom. Just shots to his body, and then, to his head when he could. And normally it's really bad to get pushed up on the ropes. They call it rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard of that, apparently it comes from boxing. So he's leaning back up on the ropes, and you usually don't do that because they just wail on you.
Yeah.
Well, Ali is he's in good shape. And so he's just taking it. He's getting some hits in when he can. they did that for a couple of rounds, and Ali is just laying on the ropes, basically, like laying on the ropes. The reporter described it as it looked like Ali was leaning out a window and trying to look onto his roof. He was leaning back far.
That's a good descriptor.
Yeah, right. And his trainers kept telling him, like, you got to get off the ropes. You got to get off the ropes. Like, he's going to just pummel you. He's going to annihilate you. Well, you could see it in the video, and Foreman admitted to it, like in interviews later, is a couple of times like Ali would kind of fall on him or like lock up with him, and they kind of grab their head or lock up or whatever. And he was trash talking the whole time. He was in his ear. He's like, is that all you got, George? You're not punching hard enough. Like, you got to hit me harder than that. Like, really juicing him up and getting in his head and all this stuff. So I think they got to, I think it was the 8th round. Let's say this. They're in Africa at 4 a.m. It was hot. On the video, they estimated it to be at least like 80 degrees, if not like 90 degrees.
Gee.
And 90 to 95% humidity.
Terrible.
Brutal.
Terrible.
So you can kind of see where this is heading, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Ali, even though he's getting pounded, he's kind of conserving himself. Like, he's really not doing a lot.
Right.
Getting little picks when he can. And he finally, he catches George. And I think it was the 7th or 8th round. He catches him. Boom. And he stumbles and he goes boom, boom. He starts landing combos, right? Like just straight to his face, just like right, left, right, like boom, 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 just too fast. And eventually he smokes him with a good punch, and George starts to stumble. And it's incredible to watch Ali, because he hits him in the face, and that Foreman's going down. And a lot of times guys will try to hit him again on the way down, because you can knock a guy down and he can get back up and you keep fighting, right?
Right.
So you want to keep him down. So you try to hit him as many times as you can before he hits the ground. Well, as Foreman is falling, you can see Ali cock up a punch, and he kind of like lurches at him a little bit, and he holds his punch. And they said it was as if he was preserving the aesthetic of the moment and not spoiling it by like missing a punch or having a clumsy punch.
Yeah.
And instead just having like that like real tough look of Foreman falling down and him just having a punch ready to go. And he knocks him out in the 8th round. Total underdog. Place goes crazy. Everybody storms the stadium, and that's how Ali won his title back. And everyone thought he might retire after that fight. He went on to fight like 17 more times, and none of them were really like that level. Like, they didn't really.
Right.
After that, like he probably could have or should have retired maybe. Some of his other stuff was exhibitions and it kind of whatever. Mostly what he did was like community outreach, like giving back to his communities, building hospitals, like that kind of sort of thing. And doing that outreach that was so polarizing in the beginning, but like really giving back to his local communities and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of what he ended up doing. And Foreman, it kind of messed him up for like a couple years. Said like he kind of went into a depression for several years, and it wasn't a long time till he got back on that horse and kept boxing. He eventually did. And, he was good. He still had he fought some other really, really good fighters. And I read a story about him that said, cause he was like kind of a calm, stoic, whatever, kind of a hard guy, right? Just kind of a monster, kind of a machine, but not like evil. You know what I mean? Like not a bad dude, but like a bad dude, he was fighting somebody and he got knocked out. And it was another like really hot fight, and like he got heat stroke, and they took him off and into the locker room. And he said at that point he had like a near death experience where he heard like a calling to him, or how exactly it was described, I'm not sure, but he was like, I'll donate my money or whatever. And it was like, no, George, I want you, was kind of the thing. And then like, he like woke up in a sweat or whatever like that from the, like, he was probably somewhat close to dying.
Mm-hmm.
So he had this near death experience. And then at that point he became a born again Christian. And then he started getting into religion and doing like priestly activities, or like being a pastor and being involved with church, which he wasn't before.
Okay.
And this is when, like, if you've ever seen him more recently, or like, he made grills.
Yeah.
That's not something like a hardcore guy does. So he's like really bubbly, really funny. Yeah. But there was like a cutoff to where he like completely changed as a person. And what's really cool is, so he fell off the face of the planet in the boxing world. He eventually came back, worked his way up, and he regained the title of heavyweight champion of the world as the oldest boxer to ever do it. And I think he was 42.
Okay.
Or maybe 45. And he was an old man for that. And he beat Holyfield, which you might recognize that name.
Yeah.
So he was fighting guys like Holyfield and Mike Tyson. Like, I think he was predated Mike Tyson by just a little bit.
Okay.
But Holyfield.
Yeah.
That's who he beat to regain his title.
That's sick.
What's really cool is he was wearing the same shorts that he was wearing when Ali took the title from him.
That's cool.
So
kind of like full circle.
This whole redemption arc, and that's where like Foreman became like this underdog story and beloved by America. And Ali kind of worked his way back into that because of this fight and being the winner, the underdog, and then coming back and giving back to his community and continuing to fight and being the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
If you're the greatest of all time, people will respect you.
Yeah.
And like everybody loves him. Like he is remembered in a very positive light.
Yeah.
And eventually Foreman, like, he did the same thing. He had his return, and his he climbed that ladder but got back up on that horse. I did not really realize this, but Ali, he only passed in 2016.
Yeah.
It was pretty recent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know why, but I never figured that any of my life overlapped with his.
Yeah.
But it totally did. A lot of it did. And I had no idea. Some interesting things about his is he organized his own funeral, like every aspect of it, in kind of a way to just like, it was the last thing he did was like, this is how like a Muslim funeral goes or whatever. Like, he was trying to make a last statement. Even once he had passed, he was still outspoken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then George Foreman passed away this year. Oh. I think he passed away earlier this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I didn't either till I started. And then I thought maybe I remembered that. But so it's kind of a legend now.
Yeah.
All of this is legend.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and these guys, they eventually went on to become really good friends. Joe Frazier, another guy that I had mentioned that they had all fought. So Joe Frazier gave Ali his first loss. Foreman gave Frazier his first loss, and Ali gave Foreman his first loss. So the whole thing just has a nice little bow on it, and the whole thing just it just tells its own story.
Yeah.
But that's the rumble in the jungle, man. Just a wild boxing sports story
for sure. I was looking at because you were saying approximately 1 billion people were watching in 1974.
Yeah.
I just looked at the numbers, which is crazy in itself, of roughly the population of Earth around that time.
Yeah.
4 billion.
Wow. A quarter of the planet.
Wow. Tuning in. And that's just tuning in to watch it. I'm not sure if that's including the people at the stadium or.
Probably not. But I mean, that's only a small number on top of a billion.
Exactly. So that the 25% of the world tuning in
crazy.
To watch this event, that's, I think even by today's standards, is a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking up the 2025 Super Bowl right now.
Okay.
And we'll see, because I got to figure the Super Bowl's got to be one of the most watched
2025
things.
Super Bowl hasn't happened. No, it does. That's next year. Never mind. Continue. You're right. It comes out in February.
The last one.
Whatever it is. XVVYYZ
wow.
LY25.
That's it. It says right here. Let me see. Peak viewership reached 137.7 million.
That's
not
nothing.
Even close.
Not even close.
So if they, I mean, I don't know how they know these numbers anyway.
Yeah.
If they're anywhere close, this has to be one of the most watched sporting events in the history of time. And I knew nothing about it. But when we were kings, I just thought that is, it's just a poetic title in and of itself. And so I was like, I got to check that out.
So I think if you want a more accurate representation of viewership, which is dumb that I had to look this up, but the World Cup.
Yeah, sure.
Probably has a better.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. More countries. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. A global sport versus whatever the United States has going on.
Yeah, let me see. Viewership. So the 2022 FIFA World Cup saw an estimated of 1.5 billion viewers.
There you go. Okay.
But that's 2022. We were at what, like 7 billion? 8 billion?
Mm-hmm.
It still doesn't reach those numbers.
Yeah. Just in terms of, the ratio.
And
it's like, I don't know, in 74, I go into any house now, they have 4 TVs.
Yeah.
In 74, I don't think everybody had 4 TVs.
No.
So it had to be more difficult to get access to. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally different time.
I'm guessing you're going to like your local pub where they're putting... And then you have like hundreds of people watching on one TV or something like that.
So like, I don't even know how you begin to estimate how many people watched it, but I read so many comments on YouTube that were like, I remember my mom waking me up for they're Europeans. Like, I remember waking me up for this fight. And like, we always wanted to watch Ali fights, but they were always, or Foreman fights, and they were always over before like all the fights starting. And then they would go try to get the kid up. And then by the time the kid got up, the fight was over.
Yeah.
And so they were so excited that this one went past the second round that they could actually watch it. So just a lot of really fond memories over this.
That's
over
insane.
This fight.
Yeah. If 25% of the world saw it, you would have a lot of people remembering this.
Yeah. I read a lot of stories that were just really, really cool of, one guy watched it with his dad for the first time, and his dad had like never had the chance to see it. And only recently found that there's another way to see it. So he got to watch it for the first time, like recently versus the back then. I thought that's really cool.
That is awesome.
Other people, they watch it like traditionally, like once a year or something. But yeah, I'll send it to you. It's crazy. The video is an hour long. The fight was maybe 35 minutes. The rest is just the pre and post stuff.
Yep. Did they have any openers?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just boom, the fight.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't remember hearing anything at all about that. So
I guess they're not called openers. They're called
what
are they?
There's like the main card, and then I don't know what they call it.
Whatever the other
word is.
Whether the people
the thing
with the thing,
yeah, those ones. Yeah, the less gooder ones, or the lower weights, or how.
Yeah.
But there is so much more of this stuff. I'm sure I missed some really, really interesting things. I think I got through all the quotes that I wanted to say that were just crazy and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just a huge, huge event in sports history. Really cool story that this kind of stuff probably comes up a lot, or like the greatest of all time. You say it all, you see it every year in sports, somebody's saying that. It wasn't until Ali that it came around. I had a ton of fun with this one, Daniel. I watched a movie. I watched a fight. I watched some YouTubes. I learned a lot, a little bit of politics, a little bit about culture, a little bit about sports. So I hope you had fun.
Oh yeah, dude, you. I think this time around you threw me because you started with Aesop. I'm like, okay, we're gonna learn a lot about Aesop today, and then all of a sudden, like you're like lyrics and songs. Okay, maybe I'm gonna learn a lot more about his lyrics and songs and his inspiration and how he gets them, and then all of a sudden it's just like boxing.
We're in Zaire, baby. Yeah. Oh, so, man.
It was a good roller coaster.
I had to do that for you. The Aesop episode will come at some point.
I imagined. I thought that was going to be it here, but then you did like a full 90.
I had to tell you how I got there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair.
He says he passes on the credit whenever he recommends it to somebody. It was recommended to him by his favorite artist, who may or may not be named John. So it was recommended to me by one of my favorite artists. So there you go.
That's awesome.
We'll put all the links in. I don't know what else we've got going on. Not a lot.
No.
Probably some stuff over on the Patreon. There's always weird stuff we're doing over there.
Yep.
We'll keep doing some weird stuff. So if that sounds cool, you want to support us, get some bonus content, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/doing learning.
That's the one.
And I had fun tonight. Did a lot of research, watched some movies. Missed a lot of things. So when you go out there, make sure that you do your own research and stay curious. Punch.
Hey everybody, we just like to take a moment to thank everybody out there that has thus far supported us. We do all these recordings and we love doing it. We have fun doing it. But we are paying out of our own pocket, but it does help when people like Liz D, Seth T, Irvin H, DaDog, Miles T, and Kirk K help us make this little podcast a reality and, lighten the load a little bit. So thank you from both of us and all of the fans. Thank you for helping us make this a reality. And if you guys want to help be part of the Doing Learning crew, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/doinglearning. I don't know why I said www.